Hey there, Gemini. How's it going? Hope everything's going good with you and yours. This is your weekly reading for March 21st, 2022. The week of, that is. We're going to be looking at your energy over here on the left, some challenges you might be facing, as well as some potential outcomes as well. We're also going to look at some clarifiers for those cards and an oracle message to wrap. Well, we'll take both of them. They came out together, so we'll take them. Yeah, we'll be looking at all that. If this is resonating with you at any point, you can, of course, leave a like down below. And if you really like what I do here and you want to stick around for more, always appreciate it. You can always hit that subscribe button, so that's that much easier. So let's see what we got here for you. Your energy coming in this week. We got the Queen of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Five of Cups here. All right, we got a lot of positive energy here with that Queen of Cups. She definitely focuses on the positivity. I feel like you're feeling pretty good at this time, certainly physically for sure, because that Queen of Wands is very a very attractive person, right? So I feel like that's you. You're looking beautiful right now. Congratulations. That's awesome. So we're looking good here. So that's good. Positivity, good vibrations surrounding you. So I love that. With the Page of Cups here as well, we're having fun, just having a good time here, keeping our eyes open for opportunities though, whether that's to have more fun or to grow or something a little more serious here with that Page of Cups and that fish in the cup, because the fish represents those opportunities that could slip away, but I feel like you're keeping a pretty good eye on them. And with the Five of Cups here as well, there may be a concern about your appearance, because you can see he's holding up the mirror and he doesn't see anything. So you may be concerned like, oh, I don't really, maybe you feel like you don't look the best, right? You might be having some self-doubts when it comes to your appearance, and you might be emotional as well, because it is cups, and cups represent your feelings and emotions. So maybe you feel like you don't look attractive and such, but you're quite beautiful here. So I like that a lot. With the Five of Cups too, it tells us to focus on the positive, right? There's 3 cups knocked over, and maybe you're thinking of that in your mind as like, maybe my nose is a little crooked, or maybe one of my ears is, a little misshapen or a different shape than the other, or something like that, right? Or, there's like, one of my eyes is slightly a different color than the other one, or whatever you want to pick about your body, about your face, about anything about yourself to say that's weird. Like I can say that I think one of my arms is like an inch or so longer than the other, which is just really weird. But you can say weird stuff about that all the time, but people don't necessarily see that. They kind of look at the whole package and they say you're beautiful, right? And I feel like that's what you need to focus on, is people are attracted to you regardless of like the little imperfections you may be feeling about yourself. People are still drawn to you at this time. So take that. That's a positive. That's a compliment. Just roll with it. It's looking great, right? Try not to beat yourself up about these little things, because a lot of the time people don't notice the little things. It's kind of a technique I used to do when I painted minis. Well, I still paint minis, but when you paint miniatures, it's called like the arm's length test. And what you do is you normally you hold the mini, you're holding it like right up, like something this big, like right up in your face, right? And you're painting it. And when you get done and you're kind of like, oh, I'm really trying to correct this one little detail I can see because it's like really close in your face. What you do is you take it and you put it like an arm's length away from you on the table. And it's like, can I still see it? And it's like, if you can't, nobody else is going to see it, because that's where it's going to be when you're playing the game, right? And I feel like that's kind of the same here for you. It's like, you may feel like you have these little imperfections, but you're like examining yourself like right up close. You can see it. You're looking at your body every day. No one knows your body like you, right? So, of course, you're going to see those little imperfections. People aren't going to see that with you. They're going to see the beauty. They're going to see the whole package. They're not going to see those tiny little imperfections that you're not happy with, right? So let's look at your clarifiers for your energy here. See if we can get a little more detail going on here for you. Got the Ace of Wands. That's great. The Seven of Cups as well. That's awesome. And the Eight of Cups too. All right. Lots of cups for you here. We got 4 of them. So definitely some emotional energy for you this week. And that, like we were talking about when we were talking about like appearance, that can do that to us too, right? Not everyone is 100% happy with their bodies, right? I'm one for sure. I got a bit bigger of a gut than I'd like. I should probably exercise more. But that's just really like, it's part of life, right? And that doesn't necessarily, emotionally fulfill me. Obviously, it physically fulfills me. But this is just really saying like, for you with this energy is like, yeah, there's a lot of emotions here. You might be feeling like a little, maybe even a little overwhelmed, or maybe feel like, oh man, like I'm so unhappy with this little thing or something. It's just like you're the only one that sees that, right? Like I'm hammering that over your head here. I know I just keep bringing it up, but I feel like this is something that like you're worrying over nothing here, right? And with the Eight of Cups here, I feel like this is something you need to walk away from, right? Because the Seven of Cups is also here saying there's like these myriad of things here. There's all these potential things. Maybe there's a lot of things about your body you're like, I'm really not happy with. I really don't like this. But it's like, people think I'm ugly or I'm a freak or something. But I feel like people don't actually see that. Right? I feel like that's not the case, because you're the Queen of Wands. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. People want to be around you. They feel attracted to you. They feel that magnetism to you. So I feel like you just need to kind of walk away from that mindset of like, oh, there's all these things wrong with me, because there is better out there for you. There's a 9 and 10 of Cups, all this really good positive emotion for you, because that's what, once you realize that, people don't necessarily see those little things, right? With the Ace of Wands here as well, it's saying go for it. Start up something new. Start up this new mindset. Now is a great time for this. Start up a positive mindset, right? This hand here with the Ace of Wands is giving you the thumbs up, right? It's saying be positive. Go for it. Do something, right? So I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. In your challenges, we got the Moon, Zoldo, the Page of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. Yeah, big time stresses with that 10 of Wands you might be dealing with this week for sure. Maybe something to do with a Pisces with the Moon there, as that represents them, or maybe something to do with an air sign with this Page of Swords, or a fellow air sign, so Aquarius, another Libra, or maybe a Gemini, or sorry, another Gemini, or maybe a Libra here. So you might be dealing with one of them as well. So maybe something to do with them too. But this Ace of Wands really, or this 10 of Wands, this 10 of Wands really saying like there's a lot going on when it comes to like your overwhelming, right? It's kind of overwhelming stresses and such in your life. I feel like with the Moon there, even if it's not a Pisces, even if you are dealing with a Pisces, it might be because you don't have all the information, right? Maybe this Page of Swords is someone who you wish would reach out to you, right? Because the Page of Swords is a person who does reach out, who does communicate, who does, offer up like a message like, hey, how's it going? Like they try to reach out to people. So maybe you feel like they won't reach out to you, or you want them to reach out to you, but you don't know why they're not, right? And that Moon represents that kind of shadowed, sort of mysterious, like lack of information you may have here at this time, which again, I feel like with that 10 of Wands is causing a lot of stress here. And I feel like that's kind of reflecting back on your looks back here, where you feel like, oh, it's because I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not good looking enough, or I'm not handsome enough, or whatever the case may be. You might feel like that's why they're not reaching out, right? And that's causing a lot of stress here, right? And you want like a big change with the world. You want like this big, like sort of like, I just want to start up like a relationship with you, or I want to start up like whatever it might be, but you feel like there's something holding you back, or you don't have it here. Maybe you need to initiate, right? Maybe you need to reach out to the Page of Swords, be a Page of Swords yourself. Like I say, Page of Swords represents air signs. You're an air sign here, Gemini. Maybe you need to be the one reaching out. So let's look at some clarifiers for this, and then we'll move on to your outcome cards and your oracle message. Before we do though, thanks so much for being here. Hope this is helping you out. Hope this is resonating with you. And if it is, you can hit that thumbs up button down below. Give that a little boop. That helps out the channel a ton. You can also subscribe to the channel if you like what I do here. That way you can find me more easily through the week. And of course, you can always share the video too. But with that out of the way, let's get into your clarifiers. We got the Chariot, the King of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles. With a Chariot, that's more than water signs popping in here. That's Cancer's card, so you might be dealing with a Cancer this week as well. Again, the Page of Cups back here also represents the water sign, so Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. So again, could be dealing with them, might not be either. It just might be that energy kind of creeping in here. King of Swords, interestingly enough, came over the Page of Swords. So the King of Swords is the more matured version of the Page of Swords, right? So I feel like you need to kind of approach this from a more mature perspective, right? You need to kind of go like, hey, like looks aren't everything, obviously. And if this person is that shallow that they're not going to reach out to you because you're not good looking enough, they're obviously not the kind of person you want to be with, right? Is that something you hold in high value? Is like someone's willing to not speak to someone because they're not good looking enough? You know, that to me, that screams like shallow. That screams immature. For sure. Like, that's how I feel about that. Like, I don't know, is that how you feel about it? You know, let me know. Like, is that how you perceive that? You know, obviously, you know, there has to be an attraction in relationships for sure. But I feel like that's a really shallow way to be like, oh, I'm not going to message this person even though their personality clicks with me because like they don't have the right color eyes that I like, or their face isn't like symmetrically, you know, aligned the way I enjoy, or you know, whatever. They have like a freckle on, you know, like they have a freckle up by their eye or something like that, like something stupid. Or they wear glasses, like, ugh, you know, like what the heck, right? Don't be like that. Like, focus on like the positive, right? And I feel like that's like going to help you out a lot. Is just be more mature with this, with that King of Swords. With the Seven of Pentacles here as well, you're putting in a lot of hard work at this time. Maybe you're putting a little too much when it comes to this, right? Maybe a little too much thinking, right? With all the swords and stuff out here. Maybe putting a little too much of your emotions into things too as well, right? Again, putting in the hard work. Maybe it's not actually, it's being more work than it has to be, right? Maybe you're putting in a little too much effort here, you know, work smarter, not harder, that sort of thing. And maybe you're just investing a little too much here at this time. So maybe it's time to cut your losses on that. And with a Chariot here, I feel like, again, that's that hands-on approach I was talking about. Maybe you need to reach out to them. Maybe that's all it is they just don't know that you're interested. So that's why they're not reaching out to you. So let's move on to your outcome cards. See what we got. We got the Queen of Pentacles. We got the Nine of Pentacles. And we have the Tower. So that Tower definitely reaffirms that, because the Tower is a big change, and it's a change that has to happen in order for you to progress on your journey, in order to get to where you want to go, your ultimate end goal here, the world, right? That's where you want to be eventually. In order to get there, you have to have a Tower moment. That's like a big change. So is this going to be you maturing, or is this going to be you changing up your perspective, changing up your ideologies, or even just changing up how you do things, right? Maybe not necessarily like your opinion. Maybe you're still kind of in there like, oh, you know, looks are very important, but maybe you're saying, well, looks are important, but I also want to make sure that like a real genuine connection is there as well. Not just like, oh, we both think we're hot. We each think each other's hot. That's good enough, right? Like, you know, that seems kind of silly, but maybe it's just kind of a change up where it's like, okay, I'm going to put more emphasis on the emotional side. I'm going to put more emphasis on the connection. I'm going to put more emphasis on this something else and less emphasis on the looks. Or maybe you're just going to say the hell with it, and I don't care what I look, you know, well, maybe you do care what you look like, but I don't care what they think of my looks. I'm going to initiate. I'm going to go out and get what I want rather than sit on my hands, which I think is great, especially with that Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles out here, because the Nine of Pentacles is not ashamed of its independence, right? It is a card of being independent on your own, right? All this vineyard here that this person, this flower person here owns, right? They own that. They worked hard to cultivate that. You've worked hard on yourself to get to yourself to this point. There's no shame in that. And there's no shame in being on your own, even not having someone, because guess what? You're functioning really well up until this point. So that's great. With the Queen of Pentacles too here, just working on yourself physically, mentally, trying to grow, trying to cultivate yourself into the best version of yourself. The Queen of Pentacles really wants you to work on like the physical. So again, you might be thinking about your looks. Maybe you're thinking about, you know, trying to diet, working out more, something like that. If that's really like kind of like that big concern still here, or we're talking about our looks. But the Queen of Pentacles really wants you to work on that, cultivate that in the best way you can, in the healthiest way you can. Don't want you doing anything crazy or wild, right? Going on these weird, crazy diets, right? So just work on things in a healthy way, in a natural way, the natural, organic way, right? Don't do it in like let's just rush and wear yourself out and make yourself worse off in the long run. So let's look at your clarifiers, and then we'll get your oracle message out here for you, Gemini, and see what we have for you. All right, what do we got, Gemini? We got the Two of Swords. Yeah, decision needs to be made, that's for sure. Three of Cups and Six of Swords. Yeah, you got to make a decision. What's the change you're going to make? How are you going to move forward here, Gemini? Like, what is it going to be? Are you going to move forward in a positive way in this kind of change? Or are you going to move forward and stay where you're at, right? Are you going to stay on the stone slab blindfolded, with swords crossed, being like, I'm not moving from this spot because it's fine and it's what I'm comfortable with? Or are you going to move on, like this person in the Six of Swords here? They're in rocky waters now, but they can see the calm waters ahead. They're heading towards peaceful times. Is that what you want? I feel like you need to make a change if that's what you want. And if you want celebrations with this Three of Cups as well, you need to move forward. And with that purpose in mind, of like, I want to have celebrations. I want to have reasons to celebrate. I want to have reasons to get together with my family, my friends, my community, my significant other, right? I want to do that in the future. I want to be part of the parties, right? I've been there before where you're like the third or fifth or sometimes seventh or ninth wheel. Somehow, you're the only single one that showed up at a couple's party that you didn't know you were taking part in. Like I've been there before. And it's just like, do you want to be like that anymore? Or do you want to bring your own person? Well, you need to make a change of some sort in order to accomplish that, right? To get that going. So let's see what we got here for you. Speaking of wheels, I said a 7th, 8th, or 9th. I was actually an 11th wheel at a movie once. I went to go see some action film or something when I was in high school, and I had 5 friends that brought their girlfriends. And here's all the glitters card here, number 16. But yeah, I had 5 friends that all brought their girlfriends, and I was the only single one of the group. I tell you, I've never felt more like I was on an island than that night. I was like, man, I don't even know why I'm here. Nobody's talking to me. I'm just here like watching the movie by myself. Like, I guess, weird. Sometimes it's like that though. Sometimes you feel that way. So let's look at all that glitters card here. Your number 16. It's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about the person, place, or thing, or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the mask people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? And I feel like that's like we were talking about that with the relationship. Like, is looks that important? Is the glitter of your appearance or their appearance, is that what's really important at the end of the day? Because I'll tell you one thing, I'm not gonna hang around somebody who's beautiful if they're treating me like shit, or they're demeaning me or demeaning my family or my friends. That's not someone I want in my life just because they're pretty. That's stupid, right? That's set up for like a TV show, right? Where the character's dating someone and they're like, oh, that she's just so beautiful. In the meantime, they're just like the worst person ever, right? So it's like, is that glitter worth it? Is that what really you want to put the value on? Is like the glitter, the shine, or you want to put it on what's underneath, right? The person underneath. And do you want someone judging you for that too? Do you want them just wanting to talk to you because you're pretty? Because you're beautiful, and you are, obviously, but is that what really matters to them? And is that the kind of person you want around, right? So I hope that helped you out. Hope that resonated with you, Gemini. If you want to stick around, you can always subscribe to the channel. If you like what I do here, you can always hit that thumbs up button down below. And I will see you hopefully next time.